Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of New Book Who Dis. I am your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me is longtime friend of the channel, Mr. Isaac Fox. Welcome back, sir. Always good to see you.
Sir. I still love the Blue Lion, by the way. Every time I say, like, oh, it's the Blue Lion. It's so great.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the funny thing about that intro is I've meant to change it, because that was just like an intro I threw together real quickly. Just because I hadn't gotten around to like setting one up for this specific show, and now it's kind of just become the official intro for New Book Who Dis. So when I eventually do a proper intro for New Book Who Dis, the Blue Lion will have to stay. You know, it's become part and parcel with, you know. I'm a Leo, mascot. And yeah, it really is. I'm a Leo, and of course I've got the blue mohawk. So it's just, yeah, it's just kind of part of me. Yeah. I've been rocking the blue mohawk now for, God, almost 10 years. Yeah.
I had the Dwarf Slayer mohawk for a long time, and I can't do that anymore, and I'm sad, but, you know, that's comes with age, I guess, sometimes.
Yes, man. Yeah, no, I'm blessed. I like my mohawk. I shaved my hair into a mohawk after I stopped working a corporate job a long time ago, and never looked back.
I don't blame you. I went from the Dwarf Slayer to Master Roshi, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's fine. I'll live with that.
Hey, Master Roshi's a badass. You know, never forget that.
He is people forget that all the time. Like, you realize for a normal human, he is just like basically a god compared to the average person, right?
I mean,
even Hercule actually is crazy strong for a normal person.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Satan, for those that
same guy. People forget that. And talk about Dragon Ball Z a lot with my friends. I'm like, you guys forget, like, you think like you could fight some of these characters. Like, Mr. Satan would whoop all of us at the same time, and it wouldn't even be hard for him to do. He's legitimately a super tough guy. He's just not Z level guy.
Yeah.
Not a fair
it's
comparison.
Just not, you know, like the Saiyans out there, you know.
No, he never learned like Krillin and he ended from Master Roshi, so to a lesser extent Yamcha. Who, let's face it, Yamcha could still kick our butts in a fight. It wouldn't even be hard for him.
I'll never forget Yamcha getting blown up in that hole. Poor guy.
I don't know why Toriyama seems to hate Yamcha so much. I wasn't upset about him. Tien was my favorite for a long time, and Super comes around and Tien's like a punk now. And I'm like, Tien used to have shoulders that were as big as like my body. That dude was the only guy. Everybody else is cowering from Cell, says, you know what? I'm a warrior. I'm going out there. I don't care if I die. I'm fighting. And he goes out there and kind of whoops Cell's tail for a little while. Like,
yeah, until Cell evolves and then, you know, comes back. Yeah.
Well, the transformation gimmick definitely became a popular go-to in the Dragon Ball series after Z.
That's true.
Where everybody has a new transformation and regeneration. Everybody can just do that now outside of the main cast. You know, the heroes, which transform, they can't regenerate. Unless you're Piccolo.
It becomes the never-ending fight story, you know, at that point.
Yeah, I will continue to default that my favorite shonen is still going to be Yu Yu Hakusho. That has an actual canonical ending. Yeah. And the ending isn't, hey, this guy's power level is the biggest number, therefore he wins. It doesn't turn into that. It's a little more creative. I really appreciate that. Though I know some people don't like the ending.
I honestly never got to the end. I remember watching Yu Yu Hakusho on Toonami around the same time that they were still doing Ronin Warriors and stuff like that, and
classic era.
Never got to the end of that stuff. I always thought it was cool though, and that was honestly about the last time I really paid attention to anime.
Oh man,
you know.
I would give credit as much. I'll be straight up. I'm not really a fan of Naruto, but Naruto does do something very well, in that its fights aren't about who's tougher. Sometimes the other guy's abilities just counter what your abilities happen to be. It's just a bad matchup. It's a rock paper scissors game sometimes.
Sure.
You know what? I like that take, because it's like, well, this guy is stronger, but this guy's entire thing is punches, and that guy's entire thing is he can't be punched. So he can't win
It
that
kind of
fight.
cancels
Like,
it out.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, get somebody else to fight him. Okay, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
As opposed
Yeah.
to, as much as I love Dragon Ball Z, and I will love Dragon Ball to my dying days, and have massive respect for it, but it's kind of like, well, my power level is 1 million, his is 2 million, therefore I lose.
Yeah, it's just a numbers game at that point.
Kind of.
I stopped watching like at the end of the Namek saga with Frieza, with him going Super Saiyan and beating Frieza to death. And then because that's where Toonami ended it. And
It
then
was
I went
supposed to
online.
end there, but it was
Yeah.
popular, so, hey, Mr. Toriyama, can you write us the next arc? Okay.
Yeah. Fine. I like money.
You have a
But
paycheck
yeah,
for me? Yeah, we'll do that.
I
Sure, what you want.
I looked up Dragon Ball and I saw that it just went on forever after that. And I was like, I don't have time
Yeah,
for this.
it's we're up to Super now. I think Daima's now out.
Mm-hmm.
Super has some moments that are very endearing, where they tried to it felt like Toriyama wanted to humanize them a bit more and make it less
Right.
about like, I'm just this great powerhouse character. Or even Goku will say like, I feel like an old man sometimes. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
Goku, you're like in your 40s or 50s by now, man. Like you definitely should feel that way a little bit.
And you've been beaten to death more times than I can count.
Murdered several times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Um,
everybody in the show they did the same thing that comic books have kind of done, where everybody's been dead for a little while. I've
yeah.
never seen them. There's a guy who makes these things called superhero texts, where it's superheroes texting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was Deadpool texting the X-Men, going, "Hey, is Kitty available? No, she's dead right now. How about Scott? He's dead right now. Right now, yeah, they're gonna come back. They're just dead right now, but they'll come back.
Right.
Don't worry.
Yeah, they're dead
Give it
right now.
time.
What about Jean? Yeah, she's dead right now.
Should
Yep.
give it like a month. She'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it
I
works.
mean,
Nobody stays dead around here.
the age-old joke is the only people that stay dead in comics are Uncle Ben, and it used to
Origin
be Bucky.
characters.
Now it's just Uncle Ben. They brought
Well,
Bucky back as the Winter Soldier. So,
the Waynes definitely they stay
oh yeah.
out.
Well, I
But that's
mean, they
both
brought
for the
them
most part.
back in Elseworlds. The Batman that has the red around the bat. That's Thomas
Oh,
Wayne. Bruce in
yeah,
that
that's
universe.
it's
Bruce
that
Wayne
universe where
died.
Bruce got shot instead, of now
Yeah.
it's Thomas Wayne, who's a much more gritty version of Batman.
Oh yeah, he's much more ruthless. And his wife Martha became the Joker.
It was a neat take on it.
Sure.
I know that there's a big hoopla right now about comics versus manga and comic shows versus anime, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly think choosing a side is the right way to go. But I do understand, like, comics, yeah, we kind of get the same characters retold over and over again because every comic works on multiverse theory. Here's
Yeah.
Batman from in this universe of Batman, he works at a sandwich shop. In this version of Batman, he got shot and his dad didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. It's up to the writer to
Yeah.
make that interesting, which probably makes it a very challenging job to have.
Well, see, that was the cool thing about What If and Elseworlds, is that they
Exactly.
you could do that kind of thing, and it was just like this one shot thing, and it didn't have to be like a continuing series over and over again. It could just be this one shot story, and it's a cool little thing, and they
Oh,
move on.
have you ever seen the anime Black Lagoon?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it though.
You would like Black Lagoon, I promise you.
Okay.
They have a series of that's like short little spin-off episodes. It's
Hmm.
exactly like What Ifs, where the main character wakes up as a girl. He says, "Why am I a girl?" And he runs over to the main female character. Goes, at least you're still a girl." And she goes, "No, I'm not," and takes her pants out. And he goes, "Oh my god!" Like,
Oh,
okay, it's kind of like
Jesus.
it's just taking these. It's a very serious, excessively violent series,
Right.
actually. But they're like, "Well, here's some silly non-canon things for you just to enjoy with these characters in a what if situation." Like, no, if more
Yeah.
series, almost like the blooper reels that the Rush Hour used to do at the end of the films. Like, I wish we
Right.
did more of that. Like,
Right.
let us have some fun with the characters every now and then. We're just something kind of silly. That's
Little
fine.
little levity to counterbalance all the serious. Yeah. Sure.
Cartoon Network, I think, was great about that from our generation when they used to have the commercials that was like the characters just hanging out at the Cartoon Network office. Even if
Hmm.
they were villains, they'd just be like, "Hey man, how you doing today? All right, cool. See you on set."
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
Getting
nice. I
coffee
like that.
around the water cooler, all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of the Dragon Ball Z one, I didn't know this so recently. There used to be a show where Johnny Bravo, you could write to him and he would air an episode of that show and talk about it. That's Johnny Bravo.
Holy shit! I
I
don't
don't think
remember
it
that.
lasted very long, but it was mostly focused
Right.
on Cartoon Network shows that were like the cartoons were like 10-minute long shows. So it wasn't
Sure.
like a big chunk of time.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know how accurate this totally is, but apparently somebody wrote to him asking for the final fight between Goku and Frieza, the last episode where they fight, and Frieza's already been cut in half. And the thing is, Judge Bravo was narrating that, but that
Mhm.
was aired before the fight got to that point with Frieza. So it was just a huge spoiler to everybody who saw it because now you knew Super Saiyan was the thing, and
Right.
prior the series hadn't gotten to that point yet. Like somebody just tricked Johnny Bravo into making us all very angry. Luckily, I didn't catch it as a kid, but I was like, man, that would have made me so
Man,
mad.
I don't even remember that at all. That's nuts.
I think they figured
But
it out pretty fast and stopped airing it once they realized what had happened. It was kind of like you ever seen the Blair Witch movie?
oh yeah, yeah, I remember the Blair Witch.
The Scooby Doo Blair Witch skit that they stopped airing because parents were calling in to Cartoon Network saying it was
Oh, I
terrifying
do
their
remember
children.
that. Yeah, that
The
was.
thing
I
was,
mean, it was legitimately creepy back then.
I thought it was cool, but I grew up on horror
Hmm.
stuff, so I was super into it.
Yeah, I used to
Being
sneak
said,
out and
Blair
watch
Witch
horror
is
movies. On the weekends. Parents are asleep and sneak out and catch a horror movie.
my mom was a
Out in the
horror
living room.
fanatic, so I was immediately thrown
Oh,
into
well, there you go.
starting off with like Friday the 13th and Elm Street and Michael Myers and all the classics.
Nice. So I used to
Um,
watch action movies with my dad. My dad loved Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis, all those fun movies. So I mean, I'm watching Total Recall and all those movies, Predator 1 and 2. I mean, just yeah, all those
I mean, come
movies.
on,
Die
Predator One
Hard.
is one of the best films ever made. I will not hear
I
anybody
fucking
argue
love
with
that
that.
movie.
That movie's
It's
amazing.
fantastic. I agree.
It's a cheese fest, but I mean, it's the good kind of cheese. It's the kind of cheese you want to get as much on your nacho chip as you could possibly get.
Exactly. The kind of cheese you keep going back for because it's fucking tasty. Well, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. We got my lovely lady, Flying Feline, in the chat. Skull, beautiful. I am currently up visiting her right now. Just made some wonderful, what was it? Turkey tikka masala, and it was absolutely delicious. She says, hello again, Isaac. And we were talking about the blue lion. She says, kitty! Oh no, I think Isaac may have froze. And Rogoulet says, SpaceX is just a prank, bro. Perhaps. Perhaps SpaceX is just trolling us all. And I think the internet is trolling. Oh no, we lost Isaac. He did say that he was having some power outages uh, here and there. So we'll kind of vamp for a minute. Go ahead. Actually, while we're waiting for Isaac to come back, first and foremost, I want to say thank everybody for being here to watch. If you haven't yet, go ahead and sign up for the Mercenary Guild. We will be launching on the 30th. Um, this is the main cover. If you sign up for the book, you will get this exclusive trading card. That's Nicole, the Elven Sorceress. You won't be able to get that card anywhere except by signing up for the mailing list. A link is in the description of this video. Or you can click this link that my better half has conveniently dropped in the chat here for everybody. Where is he? He is in Jacksonville, Florida. And apparently they have been having like rolling blackouts or something like that. I'm not sure why. I didn't see any storms in that area, which is usually the reason the power goes out in Florida. We get a hurricane come through and it just knocks that shit right out. But while we're waiting for Isaac to come back, I'll go ahead and bring up the campaign. This is Cremisi, the complete digital collection. If you've never gotten a chance to check out Isaac's book, Cremisi, this is your chance to grab the whole thing in a convenient digital package. You can get it from this new site, BackerKit. Now, if you've backed stuff on Kickstarter before, you probably are familiar with BackerKit. A lot of campaigns use BackerKit to wrap up their campaigns and get the surveys out to people. It's a third party that kind of helps campaigns finish things up, make sure they get all the information they need from the backers before they start fulfilling the campaign. So, BackerKit is apparently now doing their own crowdfunding thing, and they Isaac and company with Astro Ticket Comics, they went ahead and put up the complete digital collection here. so everybody could get a chance to get it, and so they could try BackerKit as a funding or a funding platform, a crowdfunding platform. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that there's no power in Florida right now. I didn't see any storms, like I said, and he didn't say that, oh yeah, we've been having all kinds of rain and stuff like that. I mean, we technically are past all the hurricane season, so we'll see. We'll keep rocking and rolling, and hopefully Isaac will come back and join us. But we're gonna do what we set out to do, and we're gonna showcase Cremisi. Now, Isaac has been on here before talking about Cremisi. I think the most recent issue that he released when he did that on Kickstarter, that was actually that was probably the first time he came on the show. We were talking about the newest issue of Cremisi. I believe it was number 5. I may be incorrect in that, but you can find that on my channel. It was a good episode. It's always a good time talking with Isaac. He loves comics. He enjoys doing what he's doing, and he's putting books out there for a unique niche. So finding out what Cremisi is, you can see there's influences right here. So if you're into Trigun, Outlaw Star, and Cowboy Bebop, basically space westerns, sci-fi space westerns, this book is for you. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's a little bit of a censor bar here. So there's hot anime waifus all throughout this book. So not only do you get compelling character stories and an awesome narrative, you also get some tasty TNA, and who don't like that, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer here.
Don't you break it, don't you fake it, don't
See,
you
like I told you, hot anime waifu. Hey, I like it. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. For the first time ever, Cremisi issues 1 through 5, with nearly every cover, are now available in a complete digital collection. All available exclusively on BackerKit.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
What you got? I'm gonna knock you all on your asses! Never run from a real fight. If you don't stop, you'll get us screwed.
Welcome to the future. Transferring to autopilot mode.
It's confirmed, milady. We're under attack. So it begins.
All right, there you go. Oh, I gotta minimize it here. So, as you can see, that is the niche that Astral Ticket Comics is filling, and they are doing well. They're quite popular on Kickstarter, and yeah, so if you're into anime waifus, they got you covered in spades. This is more of their serious book, from what Isaac told me. And like I said, you got your space sci-fi western, which I love all. Well, I love Trigun and I love Cowboy Bebop. Trigun and Cowboy Bebop were the last 2 animes I really paid attention to before I kind of dipped out of anime for the next 20 years or so. A friend of mine got me to watch Full Metal Alchemist. I guess it was Brotherhood, the second OVA. But yeah, I've never gotten a chance to watch Outlaw Star, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I might have to check that out, because I do really love Cowboy Bebop and Trigun. Let's see, Leg Kick. Where is my mouse? Leg Kick is saying someone watched Queen's Blade. Possibly. If Isaac were here, he could tell you. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming to hang out. Space Dandy is also a must. Okay, I will write that down. Actually, that's there are 2 that's 2 recommendations tonight already. I believe he said Black Lagoon and now Space Dandy. All right. So I'm writing this down. Need to find a pen that works though. Yeah. All these pens hanging around and not a damn one of them wants to write. All right, so space, dandy, and black, lagoon. All right, there we go. Oh, dude, I love Hellsing Ultimate. That is actually probably the one exception to not watching anime for 20 years. I love Hellsing. I don't know if you've ever seen the Team 5-star or Team 4-star redubs of Hellsing. It's fucking hilarious. Get this bitch a cannon. Bitches love cannons. But yeah, it's a fantastic. Berserk, I have actually never watched Berserk. I actually have started reading Berserk though, and I got the big omnibus collection, volume 1. And it's absolutely gorgeous artwork. I absolutely love it. I will say this, having not read manga for most of my life. I mean, I read manga when Dark Horse was publishing like Battle Angel Alita and stuff like that. You know, back in the, I guess it was the mid to late 90s. That was like the last time I really read manga, and it was all Americanized, so it was left to right. Reading right to left, it throws me off a little bit. The reading flow, and I now understand why companies would not want to flip it around, because there are certain things when setting up a comic book, reading right to left, image flow changes, and if you just flip the page, then that flow is backwards, and it's off. So it makes it different. I think you would like it. Just started rewatching the newer Vampire Hunter D. Forgot how beautiful that anime is. Right? I love both Vampire Hunter Ds. I think I enjoy the original a little bit more, just because it's that old school classic 80s anime. But yeah, Bloodlust is pretty dope as well. I enjoy that too. I agree with Feline here. Thank you guys for being here and hitting that like button. We do appreciate it. Please listen to the wise Feline. Smack that like button. It likes it. Trust me. But yeah. So if you guys are into this kind of stuff, Cremisi is the book for you. You want to check this out. I love both Vampire Hunter Ds, but I do prefer the original. Yeah, the original is just classic. There's no denying that. It is just classic. I mean, I discovered that while going to Blockbuster back in my day. You see, back in my day, we used to go to these places called video stores, and we used to rent these tapes called VHS, and we used to put them in a player. And yeah. The old days of going to Blockbuster on a Friday night, renting, a few anime VHS tapes and a couple of video games, and spending the entire weekend just having fun, And then, going to the comic shop on Saturday and picking up your pull list, and yeah, good times. So, to be completely upfront, Cremisi is an 18+ series due to graphic violence, mature themes, and naughty situations. I mean, that's what they do over at Astral Ticket Comics. You're not going to find anything hardcore, but you are going to find, little TNA, little lewd here and there. As a matter of fact, one of the last time I had Isaac on, we were talking about his book Suck You Busted, and I was streaming Twitch, and there was a little animated GIF of a chick wiggling her ass, and that actually got me struck on Twitch. I was not able to stream on Twitch for a while because of that. So yeah, boobs. Yeah, there's plenty of boobs. As you can see, they've got them all centered out to be safe. So let's see. Let me get to the story here. So, Cremisi is a science fiction space western comic series following the misadventures of an alcoholic spaceship captain and his sexy virtual sidekick. Using a black and white and crimson coloring style, Cremisi is an anime-inspired book filled to the brim with gunslinging action, adult humor, sexy femme fatales, and horror. Because who doesn't like a little bit of horror? You know, got all kinds of flavors in this book. So, yeah, if that sounds like it's right up your alley, then, you know, you should go ahead and jump on this. And you don't have to worry about shipping or anything like that, because this is a digital version. It'll get delivered to you ASAP. The story moves with such a great pace that you're nearly running breathless through it without feeling like you've been dragged on by a 3-episode Kamehameha powering break. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Ha! This time on Dragon Ball Z. Ha! Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Ha! Yeah, I remember that from Toonami. I love this read, and I think it's pure fun from top to bottom. Hey-o! Wait, I got something for that. Hold on. Hey, there we go. So yeah, the team knows their story well, and they especially know how to play in the world they've chosen to inhabit. Fan base press. Let's see. What you saying here? I was in art class when I was introduced to Rato Sudoki Doji. Man, weird. Great story. Oh yeah, I want to see Wolfman this weekend. Nice. Funny trivia. Rob Zombie's screenplay for The Crow 2 was a vampire. Yeah, it totally was, man. Had absolutely nothing to do with The Crow. Nothing whatsoever. You know, would have been funny to see it made as something other than The Crow. Brian, if you have never checked out a channel called Super Void Cinema, they did it was almost like an hour and a half thing about all of the failed reboots and resets of The Crow. You should definitely check it out. I think you would get an absolute kick out of it. That was when I first found out about Rob Zombie's screenplay for, you know, the Crow sequel. So glad that didn't get made. Holy crap. All right, so scrolling down, you can see that there's some beautiful anime style artwork. But I love the gray, the black and the white with the red. You know, when you're doing a black and white book and then you use a specific color, you can use it to highlight. And obviously, you know, you've got the red scarf, and you've got the blood here. Legend of the Overfiend. Yes, I've heard of that one, actually. I believe Boob Dan told me to check that one out. He said it was pretty good, aside from it being a hentai. I'll take that. Yeah, you should, man. I think you'll get a lot out of it. As a matter of fact, you being such a film buff, dude, I think you would enjoy that entire channel. Once I found that video, I went through and I watched all of that dude's videos. It's just good stuff just to throw on in the background and listen to. Super Void Cinema. They do a lot of cool stuff. Bullets and Blockbusters is another good one that does that, but I like Super Void Cinema better. So yeah. And as you can see, they really do lean into the horror aspect. And I love the artwork of this book. You know, look at this background. You can't see my cursor. Look at this background with the moon. Like that's some badass stuff. So you get some serious horror, you get some serious space western, and you get a little levity. You know, this is telling you about Astral Ticket. They've been around for a while. They've got 13 successful Kickstarters. They decided to give this backer kit thing a try. They're indie publishing studio working with a range of artists ranging from DC and Marvel veterans to top up-and-coming artists. We've even got a few H artists on our team. I believe that means hentai. So yeah, you know, if you're into, I mean, look, I'll just scroll down. As a matter of fact, this is the gift. It was shaken back and forth. the last time. But yeah, no AI, which I'm all for. Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate the fact that you say no to AI. Let's see. Turned it off 15 minutes in. Just wasn't for me. Yeah, yep. Naughty. That's right. All kinds of naughty kicking around. But little naughty, little lewd never hurt nobody, except for Twitch, and that was just their feelings. So, let's see. I was drawing, then I heard moaning come out of the TV. Yep, not one of those ones that you have on while there are other people in the house. So this is the opportunity to get a hold of all of Cremisi. I believe it's 1 through 5. Is that what it said? Yeah. And the complete collection. I'm pretty sure it's 1 through 5, but the link is in the description for this, so you can check it out. I don't know if you guys are familiar with BackerKit, but again, they are doing their own kickstarting now, or their own crowdfunding now, instead of just being a third party that wraps up the video or wraps up the campaigns for other people. This was in school, in art class? Holy crap. A local video rental store. A coach. How do you... I'm sorry, but how do you put something with the name Overfiend in the kids section? And, I mean, whoever was in charge of that, do you not, I don't know, preview the videos that you're putting out there? I mean, what year was this? Because I mean, there was a time when nobody realized that anime was it's movies. It's not just animation for kids. So, that's hilarious. I mean, that's a story to tell. They saw a cartoon back in the 90s. Yep, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Man, look at this. That's badass. So again, black and white and crimson, so you get the red to highlight certain aspects of it. And it's a unique way to tell a story. It's a unique way to tell a story. You think of Schindler's List, right? Schindler's List is all black and white except for certain spots of color. And I believe it was the red dress the little girl was wearing. It's been years since I've seen that movie, but the reason why they did that is to highlight certain things, to make those things stand out. It's a unique form of visual storytelling, and it's a great choice for this. It happens to highlight the serious nature of this story versus the levity of other things. Let's see. Tomb of Dracula, the animated movie, is free on YouTube. It looks like late 70s, early 80s. Not bad. Holy crap. I did not realize they did an animated movie of Tomb of Dracula. I'm going to have to find that, because those old Tomb of Dracula comics were dope. Thank you, Feline. I appreciate that. My better half has dropped a link to Astral Ticket Comics, Foxy Comics, in the chat. Go check out their entire range of stuff. They got a wide range of different things. Obviously, they lean into the ichi. I'm not well versed in the verbiage, so I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. But if you like TNA and waifus and fun stories and sci-fi, Foxy's got you covered. Astral Ticket Comics got you covered. So anyway, for the first time, you're able to get all of the issues of Cremisi in a digital format, and you'll be able to get every single cover. Now, as I understand it, they were only able to do print versions of these covers until recently, and they were finally able to do digital versions of every single cover, even the you can't see my cursor, even the spicy covers. And as somebody who has done a spicy variant cover for a comic book, Hardly Heroes #7. You know, I'm all about the spicy covers. So yeah. And Feline's got it. Boobs. That's right. There's if you're looking for some TNA, it's in here. It's plenty of boobs, but as you can see, there's also plenty of action and plenty of story. Again, Isaac's told me a fair bit about this story, and there's some serious character development in the story. There's some serious, issues that the characters deal with, and you go on a journey with these characters. It's not just raunchy TNA. There's a little fun in there. There's a little lewd, but at the same time, you're getting character development. You're getting a story. You're actually being entertained. You're going on an adventure with these characters. You just happen to get to see some spicy bits along the way. And I mean, that's what life is, right? An adventure, and hopefully you get to see some spicy bits here and there. So, cover issue 2. These are the covers for it. And as you can see, they get the spicy covers. More spicy. But if you get this digital collection, you get all this stuff. You get every single cover, even the spicy ones, all together in a nice, neat package that you can take with you on your tablet that you can read wherever you want to go. So and look, they are fair offenders. Everybody, even the dudes get caught up in the lewd covers, the spicy covers. They are not discriminating. So and you get it all in this collection. That's a cool cover. I like that. Because this is a space western. Similar in the vein of Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star. So there's gonna be hanging out in space, space suits. Space is a dangerous place. You run out of air, you run out of food, you run out of water, fuel. So the whole space western thing as a genre, I think, is a genre that is not fully explored, in my opinion. Obviously we had Firefly, which was a fun show. There are a bunch of audio books for Firefly. So if you guys, enjoyed the series and then enjoyed the movie, but were looking for a bit more Firefly, they do have a bunch of audio books on Audible. They're in regular paperback version as well, if you like to read books too, which I highly recommend. Reading is good for the mind. But other than Firefly, what else was there as far as like space westerns? Again, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun. Again, I'm not familiar with Outlaw Star, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'm gonna have to look that one up and find it. All right, so this is issue 3 cover gallery. So you get all of those, and the spicy cover for the Astral Ticket mascot, who is a raccoon girl. I believe that is Brooke, the raccoon girl, who is the Astral Ticket mascot. Star Wars Oblivion. I mean, Star Wars is more of a space fantasy. I don't know if I would necessarily call it a space western. I mean, there are certainly aspects of it, but I don't know if I would necessarily. I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily call it in that genre. I'm talking about like with Firefly. You go down to the planet and they're literally like frontiersmen, cattle ranchers, that kind of thing. It really has like an Old West feel, but with spaceships. You have a lot of that with Trigun. This colony ship goes to a different planet, it crash lands, and then people start, building out from the ship, and they're literally, kind of in a frontier situation. And Cowboy Bebop is, I don't know, I would almost say Cowboy Bebop deviates from the space western thing a little bit more, and it's more of like a space jazz noir type story, because there's there's a lot of crime noir elements. Wouldn't say it's full blown noir, but there are certainly elements of noir. But it's jazzy, it's fun. I remember watching Cowboy Bebop, and it made me want to play with guns, fly spaceships, and smoke cigarettes. So. Yeah, have you seen Full Moon's Oblivion? There are two. No, I haven't. I'll have to find that. I'll write that down. Full Moon's Oblivion. Oblivion is such an ominous name for a story. You kind of got to dig that, huh? Tubi has at least one usually. All right, I'll look for that. Thanks, Leg Kick. I appreciate that, man. See, I'm scrolling down, and you can see more aspects of this book, and obviously, you've got the anthropomorphic, waifus, and this universe is populated with them, and hot chicks. Hot chicks in comics, man. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. Like scotch in my glass. I mean, See, I dig the fuck out of this cover. I do like the fact that this series kind of goes into the horror aspects, and so you'll be having fun and enjoying the TNA and the story and whatnot, and then it'll get a little serious. And then it just goes into full-blown horror, which is, that's a thing anime does really well. They mix genres really, really well. Occasionally you'll find movies that do that, but anime always has a unique ability to blend those genres almost seamlessly, and bring them about. Let's see. Looks like we got some color in this. This issue was drawn by Neela Fox, who is also the lead artist on our Pure Instinct series. It is colored by Krios, our chief colorist and lead artist on our upcoming series, The Manticores. That's cool. Okay. I think I remember him telling me about this issue. This is the Hot Springs issue. So every anime that you watch, there's always like to give a break from the main story. And to give the characters a break, they go to a hot springs. It's an anime trope, Hey, we got Isaac back. Welcome back, sir. I've been vamping for a while.
So sorry, and thank you for letting me come back.
Absolutely, man.
People in Jacksonville just lost power.
How many people?
3,000 plus.
Holy crap, dude! Is there a storm going on?
No, it's fine outside. It's not even. I mean, it's like 50 degrees, which sucks for us in Florida. But it's what got me. So the power went out. Like, oh, I'll come back in a second. It didn't come back. I looked outside, and like every one of my neighbors was getting in their cars leaving. So I'm sitting here going, "What happened that I don't know? What happened? This is not a good sign. Why is there a mass X? I get going someplace with power's out, but everybody, like all my neighbors, getting out of here. Is there a terrorist attack? What's going on right now?
Did somebody hit a substation or something?
I just got back doing a quick drive around when I saw the power come back. As I was looking around, it was the gas station, street lights, baseball field, everything was black.
Holy crap, man!
So I am so sorry that I disappeared like that. It's beyond my power. But apparently
man.
JA's having problems because that's literally 3,000 plus people just lost everything. I don't know what happened.
You warned me that you were having power problems. So yeah, no, I've just been vamping, going through the campaign, talking about the issues. Been reminiscing on old anime with Leg Kick here and my buddy Brian Kriskow. Brian Kriskow and Leg Kick are two of my old school homies. Nice, and man. We've been talking about Vampire Hunter D and talking about
we just did
the space western genre.
We do movie nights in our Discord server. We did Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust fairly recently. Not sure how good
Yeah,
that film is.
Bloodlust is great, man.
I like both of them, but they're very, very fun films.
Yeah.
And I have this weird hobby where I like seeing what voice actors, what all they're in, what they do. Because
Mm,
the next week we watched Ninja Scroll, the original movie Ninja Scroll. I didn't realize
Fucking
that D
love
and
Ninja
the main
Scroll.
guy and Jubei are the same actors. Like, oh, that's kind of cool to see. All right, that was neat
Yeah.
stuff we see here.
I love being able to pick out voice actors and be like, hey, wait a minute, I recognize that voice. This person did this. Yeah.
So one of my very good friends is Mr. Eric Bra, who is now Moon Knight in Marvel Rivals.
Nice.
So I've never played Marvel Rivals. I don't really plan to, but if I do, it's like, oh, I can only play this character now because
gotta play Moon Knight. Totally.
Yeah, we
That's
play
awesome.
a game called. It's a terrible game, really. But we play a game called Heroes of the Storm, and there's one of the announcers is also voiced by Eric. I'm like, well, this is the only announcer I can use now because I know this guy. He's a great guy. He's actually showing up in one of my later comics as a character. He's such very nice.
That's
person.
awesome, man. Heck yeah. But yeah, so John Doe, welcome. He says, welcome. It's good to have you back. Glad you have power.
So am I, because it doesn't get
fucking bet, man.
In North Florida, it doesn't get terribly cold. It has dropped to below freezing here a few times recently, and yeah, I don't really want to deal with that without being able to turn the heat on for at least 5 minutes just to get the house warmed up.
Right.
And the cats are about to build a blanket fort and live in that for a few hours.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. Scuttling with the kitty cats for a while. How horrible.
A great advantage of cats is they put off a tremendous amount of heat. So if you're cold, just put a cat on your lap.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, man.
Terribly sorry to disappear like that.
No worries
at all. It was weird to look outside and see everything just black and see the only thing I can see is my neighbors getting in their cars and leaving.
Yeah.
Are we under attack? Why is everybody leaving? This is unusual.
What is happening here?
This time of night, most of you should be in bed for work tomorrow. What's happening?
Yeah, Feline is smirking because she knows. Yeah, she knows.
Where I used to work many years ago, suddenly the internet and the phone were tied together. Well, suddenly we lost net, which was weird. We worked for a business with professional sports. I can't say who because I signed NDAs. Okay, we'll check our cell phones. Cell phone service is out. That's weird to lose all this at once. I'm going to go outside on my vehicle and check the radio, see what's going on. No AM, no FM signal, period. So I come back up and everybody's like, yeah, we about to get the hell out of here because that sounds suspicious as hell. Are we being breached? What's happening?
Yeah.
What knocks out all communication? That's usually the go-to for attacking something. We need to get out of here.
No, that's disconcerting as all hell. Yeah.
When all communication disappears, yeah, that's definitely not a thing that is enjoyable. I cannot lose net for a while. Okay, that happens sometimes. Power goes out, sure, that happens. But cell phones and then mostly radio going out, that very much raises alarms in my brain.
100%. 100%.
Not to be the crazy conspiracist guy, but it's like, okay, that shouldn't happen.
I mean,
we shouldn't lose radio.
When the conspiracies start coming true, then you got to start wondering, is it really a conspiracy? But anyway,
that is why one of my favorite comic characters of all time is still the Question because of this wild things he figures out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In Justice League, going, the Girl Scouts were involved with a CIA op, and he goes, most people don't even think to ask the question. This guy's insane, but sometimes he's right though. That's the problem. Well, the Justice League keeps him around. Yes, he's crazy, but every now and then he's absolutely right about it. So we want to keep him around.
Yep. I believe the Question was created by Steve Ditko, and that was what Alan Moore based Rorschach on.
He felt like a mix of Rorschach and Batman in a lot of. At least when I saw him in the Justice League show, he was like a mix of that.
Yeah,
he's like a crazier version, but like in a good way.
Well, I mean, Night Owl and Rorschach are kind of like two halves of Batman. You got Night Owl, who is the detective, but has all the technology and whatnot, is the kind of rich playboy type thing. Not that Dryberg was ever a playboy, but that whole aspect of it. And then you've got Rorschach, who is like the down and gritty, like good detective that's really digging into things and researches the conspiracies and shit like that.
The grittier side of things and kind of presumes that's what's going on most of the time.
Yeah. So this digital collection, man, how many issues are people getting? Is it 5? Is it 6?
It's 5. It's issues 1 through 5. That's the first entire arc of the Cremisi storyline. So
nice.
We talked about before, but we weren't on camera, I suppose.
Yeah.
Backer Kit does their own crowdfunding platform now. We are not switching to them primarily. We are still doing Kickstarter from our major releases, but we wanted to give it a try. As if Kickstarter doesn't work out, let's have a backup plan. That doesn't hurt us to
Right.
back up. And maybe we can find some new readers that are only using BackerKit that could get a chance to see what we do and maybe come hang out with us on Kickstarter. So I thought,
Right.
well, I can't risk an entire new book run on a platform I haven't used before. It's
Right.
I just more behind the scenes kind of stuff. Every comic you see, we do. That's about a year how long it takes us to make it. Get all the covers done, get all the writing,
Yeah.
get all the editing, get the art done. It takes about a year to do all that,
Yeah.
which is expensive. So fast forward to then when I make a Kickstarter page, it takes me about a month and a half to actually make the Kickstarter. When it comes to
Right.
making the graphics, putting it together, getting the prices put out together, making sure that everything seems fair, getting feedback sessions, that takes forever. I can't put that kind of time and money into a thing that I don't know if it's going to work.
Right.
Not saying that Kickstarter is guaranteed because it's not, but I'd like to think that we have a pretty respectable following on that platform now that we can
Sure.
we can rely on them to a reasonable degree.
Yeah.
BackerKit, we don't have that. So, well, I finally got permission to release a lot of Cremisi's covers in a digital format. Prior to, I didn't have permission for that. Some of them I can't do that still. Like, you don't see Lyrics' covers on here. Lyrics works for Marvel. I'm not getting permission to release those that way. It's just
Right.
probably not going to happen. But other ones we can. So, well, it has to be something new in order to be allowed on the platform. But let's do a digital only run. That way, if it does only make like $20, we're not losing our butts in the process.
Sure.
And I'm happy to say that I thought this would absolutely max out at $800 on a good day.
Mhm.
And it's not far from it. Finished up today at just about 4,600. This is
Congrats,
way
man.
more
That's
than I thought was
fantastic.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So everybody who backed this campaign, because this went way above my expectations, I'm actually going to have one of our artists draw a special desktop wallpaper of the Cremisi characters. That
Nice.
only they are going to get, nobody else, because it wasn't part of the original plan. But this
Mhm.
did so well, and so many people showed support for this. I'm like, okay, you guys have to get a special thing. I got to make something special for you guys.
Yeah.
This is
Hey,
amazing, and
treating your
brought
backers
tears to
right,
my
man.
eyes.
That's how you do it, dude. What's up, Apex? Welcome, man. Thanks for coming to hang out. Lurkers Live. That's right. Welcome, Lurkers. John Doe says
Like you said.
that's amazing. Way to go. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely.
Like you said, take care of your backers. We
That's right,
try to
man.
every time. If someone sends us a message, I don't care what I'm doing. I'm either going to have Brooke responds to our Kickstarter messages, but
Right.
luckily she's going to like me and she stays at home all the time. So I just call him, hey, there's a message. Can you handle this, please?
Mhm.
Let me know. And if it's something she doesn't know about, then I hop into it. We had a guy recently contact us from a campaign from 2022 saying he lost his hard drive and he lost his digitals. And she's
Oh,
like, do
no.
we even have some of those items from 2022 anymore? I'm like, I don't know, because some of those digital exclusive items, they might be in a folder somewhere, but I may not know where they are anymore because it's been 3
Right.
years and we don't release them anymore. So let me go back and look. And that guy, we were able to find it for him, got it for him, said, hey man, tell you what, I recognize your name. I know you've backed my stuff before. Here's an extra thing. Here's a couple extra spicy goodies in that digital download as a thank you.
Nice.
Come see us again on the 21st. You have to take
awesome.
care of your backers. I've seen interviews now where people are like putting down their backers, calling them like all kinds of like fickle and not reliable. Like, you do
Because that's a
realize,
surefire way to get them to, support your future endeavors.
yeah. How has blaming the fans worked for Hollywood? And they have a way bigger budget than we do, so I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't
agree,
I don't
man.
take the approach of like, oh, people just don't get my vision. No, I don't think that's the approach to have.
Well, I mean, that's the pretentious approach to take. I
Well,
mean,
it depends. There's a lot of variables in that equation when it comes to just making anything for a crowdfunding platform. The question
Mhm.
becomes: are you making it for commercial purposes or personal purposes? Because what you can expect varies between the two. I started off like Cremisi was my passion project, and it's what I wanted to do originally. And I discovered
Right.
that I really like this job. And I went, well, okay. And we started experimenting with a little bit more spicy items. We call them Foxy now to avoid getting dinged by any credit card processing companies.
Right.
I was like, okay, people like that. Let's go ahead and just do more of that and see what happens. And people liked it. And it turns out that I really enjoy doing those stories. So Suck You Busted came into view.
There you go.
And now what we have coming up on the 21st on Kickstarter is going to be Pure Intent number 3, which is the prequel to Cremisi. And number 3 is the finale of that
nice.
prequel.
All right.
And that, because that story is a 16 plus story, and we know we have our people out there who really love their 18 plus stories. It comes coupled with, do I have a copy next to me? Of course I don't. Of a book called Mr. Suzumi's Adult Lessons, lesson number 3, which is
Nice.
it's teaching you how to do things adults should know how to do, taught by
Right.
lascivious fox
Like
girls with
changing a
very
tire.
naughty friends. That was the first issue. Yes, that was okay.
Yep.
How can I censor you to show you off? That ain't gonna be easy.
John
know
Doe
what?
says he has done an amazing job of taking care of me. He has always done a good job of providing value for money.
I try.
There you go.
Thank you.
Happy backer right there.
I don't want anybody to feel like they paid for a thing and they got gypped on what they paid for. We've never had that problem.
Good.
If we do something, if people are always told, hey, message us, something happens, we'll get with you if we can. I have had in recent years to tell people like, we have to have a disclaimer now saying like, well, if you don't fill out your surveys, we're not liable.
Right.
And I hate to do that, but the reason was because some people wouldn't fill out their survey, and I'd get an angry email. I had one guy give me an angry email 2 years later saying he never got his stuff. I go, I'm so sorry. What happened? You never filled out your survey, sir. We sent you direct messages. We emailed you. We posted
Yeah.
updates. You never filled out your survey. That's
Gotta
on
fill out
you,
the
bro.
survey. Yeah.
Would you want me to just throw it in the mail and hope it arrives there by luck? Like, I can't do that. You got to help me help you.
Right.
I noticed like
You gotta pay attention.
I know Kickstarters like Common America have a thing about that now, saying like after a certain date, like it's on you at that point. Like it's not their fault. And I hate to say it, but I agree with that.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of onus on the customer. You know, there's a little bit of that. You gotta. I mean, you gotta pay attention. You know, you can't have, not everything is out there to hold your hand. You know, and there are some companies that would just say, you know, hey, we fulfilled the campaign, everything except for this. You didn't respond. You're shit out of luck. You know, after like a month or something like that. I think 2 years is plenty of time. You know,
We get the digital questions like that a lot. People lose their files or whatever, but that's pretty easy to replace. Like, okay, if I have you lost your digital copy of Cremisi #1, no problem. I'll get it in a Google Drive for you. Let me know you download it. I'll take it back down. Have a nice day. Thank you. See you again.
exactly.
It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
But if it's like what we do now, because you've seen we do a lot of variant covers around here.
Yes.
The variant covers we print when we do things now in the business, I've learned to do is what I print is based off of what the survey numbers give me for orders.
Mhm.
So if I sold, let's say 50 of one cover, I'm going to order 50 plus a cushion percentage.
Sure, because
But
you know you got to
that
account for damages and all
damages,
that kind of thing.
losses. It might arrive damaged. They might get lost. Maybe it's one I'm going to sell at conventions as well when it's over. You never know.
Right.
But when I do that, there have been occasions where, well, I have none left once that's over.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's a
I
limited
can't
amount.
give you if you didn't fill out your survey, I can't give you the thing because it was never manufactured because I never had the order numbers till I needed to make it. And most of our covers now that we do for variants, most of them no longer reprint. So we're only doing them. Most of them are now just a one and done. A covers, B covers, and some of the more popular ones will still reprint.
Mhm.
But if we're going like, what's a good example? You know what? I'll use this guy as an example. And I will censor this with this because this has something on it. This was our first time ever doing a cover that had a nude male on it. We wanted to try to be a little more equal opportunity fan servicey.
I was about to say, I told you guys that they were equal opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. This is an incubus. So he's in the full version, which I cannot show here. He's very happy to see you. But like that's an example. Like I have a stack of them here, about 10 of them. That's not being reprinted. That's it. Once those are gone, they're gone forever.
Yeah.
So we're doing kind of stuff like that nowadays. And in part because the reprinting is expensive. Very expensive to reprint everything.
It plays into the collector's market. You know, if you want to get this limited edition collector item, then you order it while it's available. And then after that, when it's gone, it's gone.
That's
look
kind
for
of
it
the
on the
nature of
secondary market or
Kickstarter
something
in
like
general. Because those of us that are Kickstarter creators, which is a lot
What's
of
up,
us
Devil
now,
Flyer? Welcome, man.
we don't have access to the massive print runs that Marvel, DC, and Image do, where we can print
Exactly.
10,000 copies of issue 1. It's not feasible. Now, mention Mr. Polito, he can do that probably, but he's also worth about $4 million, and has a full warehouse with a full-time staff. That changes the rules a bit.
Yeah, well, I
For
mean,
me,
he's working at a different scale, and
it is.
he's built it up from nothing again. Did that with Chaos, and
Oh,
now
no
he's
disrespect. I
doing it
have massive
with
respect for Mr.
Coffin.
Purdue and what he does. He
Yeah,
is the
that's my
standard to
boy.
attain. Listening to him has caused me to change my own practices and to be better in line, to do better, to get better,
Yeah.
and do better by the backers. He will
He
always
definitely
have my
knows how to
respect.
work. He definitely knows how to work with the backers, like his
Very
crowd, his
well.
audience. He knows how to play to his strengths and try new things and build his his audience. He's
The
always been good at that.
he completely earned my respect when he had a campaign that made literally $1 million, and the book, it was for an omnibus for Lady Death, and it
Yeah.
came in, and he said the books weren't in good condition, so he refunded all of that money.
Yep.
You refunded $1 million. That is a life changing amount of money, even after expenses.
Sure.
I
That's the kind
can't
of
say anything
person
bad
Brian
about Shane
Polito
Black.
is. That's
That's what I mean. Like that. Like I don't normally back Lady Death campaigns. Like I said, not because I dislike Lady Death, but because Lady Death
Right.
does not need my money.
Right.
Lady Death going to walk away with 6 figures no matter what. She don't really need
Mhm.
Isaac Fox money. But after that, I was like, you know what? Every now and then I'll hop on one just because of the respect for
Mhm.
doing that. If I back a campaign, I prefer to look for guys who are making like 20, like 30. Like the guys are like not super big.
Right.
Or lesser than that. Just a couple of guys have hopped on to make 3 or 4,000. Like I like what they did.
Sure.
Weirdly enough, I'll back like some kids books just because I want to see more all ages stuff on the platform. I don't want it to just be what's in front of your eyes right now.
Right. It doesn't have to all be, adult oriented. It doesn't all have to
Not
be
at all.
TNA.
I
Yeah.
like I certainly like the idea of comic books aimed for adults because adults should be reading. It's good for your brain. It's
I
cardio for your
agree.
mind. Your brain's a muscle. Use it.
Yeah.
But our industry doesn't survive if we don't get kids involved in reading comics.
I
So
agree.
we need comics that are more for them. Now, I can't make those because of the simple
Right.
fact of the content I make now. That would look very suspicious and wrong. So I know not to do that.
Right.
Kind of like how Playboy isn't going to come out with a kids magazine. Like,
No, it's
no, it's made by the set
very
company.
off
We can't.
brand.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, yeah, I don't think I trust that.
Right.
I don't want a
Yeah,
grill made by an explosives company. Like it's the same thing.
exactly. I'm very not safe for work myself, like in just the way I live and act and the way I speak often. So I don't think that I would ever do a kids book or,
Not me, no.
possibly an all ages book, but it'd be more along the lines of a, Marvel in the 80s type thing. Those were all
Yeah, for
ages
sure.
books, but they weren't specifically aimed at kids.
I mean,
And I do
our
believe
lady
that,
characters are still wearing lingerie, so I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. So I mean, technically all ages, but yeah, no, I believe that there should be comics and stories out there for kids, and they should also be well written. I think a lot of the problem that we
yes.
run into with stuff that is for kids is that it talks down to kids. It's poorly written. It has bad stories. I
Let's
mean, The Hobbit was a kid's book, and there is nothing talking down to kids about The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings for that matter.
you know the story of
The
Nickelodeon.
hmm
So when
Yeah.
Nickelodeon started, the president of the company had a son, and he was embarrassed to tell anybody his mom worked for Nickelodeon because everybody hated Nickelodeon. It was like you said, it was talking down education stuff for kids.
Right.
Well, they hired the same two guys to put MTV on the map. Nickelodeon
hmm
hired,
Yeah.
and they redid the whole thing where it became like, well, this feels like content made by kids for us to enjoy, as opposed to talking down to us. And
Yeah.
that's when we started getting stuff like Rugrats, All Real Monsters, Angry Beavers, Rocko's Modern Life, which really wasn't a kids
Classic
show.
stuff.
Rocko's really
Yeah.
wasn't a kids show. We were too young to realize what was actually happening. But
Yeah, well, neither was Pee Wee's Playhouse, but we all watched that too. So
Rocco gets a job at an actual phone sex hotline, and it never registered to me what was happening. And I watch it again. He's sitting on the phone going, oh baby," with a sign behind him saying, "Be nice, be naughty." Like that means something way different to me now than it did when I was 8 years old, man. As a kid, I didn't see it.
hmm
But like you just said, the talking down to doesn't work, and it doesn't work from an adult audience either. And Marvel and
No.
DC are apparently learning that lesson the hard way right now, from what I am
Yeah, they
seeing.
are.
I
I
had
mean,
someone
people want to be
recently.
entertained. People want to be entertained in the stories that they're buying. If they're going to spend their hard-earned money on something, they want to be entertained by it. They don't want to be lectured by it.
No, not at all. I don't want to be. I don't mind learning a lesson in a comic or a movie or an
Sure.
anime or whatever. That's fine. Learning a lesson along the way, and sometimes it's good to be reminded of things that we forget about. Like I'll use Avatar: The Last Airbender as a great example, where Iroh is a constant reminder to be patient, and kind, and understanding. But I don't feel like he's like being. I'm not being bashed in the face with it. I feel like it's just
Exactly.
leading by example, and that works. One reason
Yeah.
I think that manga and anime are overtaking and our Western, which I'm not happy about. I want to see comics win here on the home front, but they're not
Absolutely.
right now. Is
They're
I think in
struggling.
part yeah. Well, Diamond just went under, but that was
Yeah, they did, but I
we
mean,
knew
to
that
be
was coming
fair,
when
they
DC and Marvel
did that
pulled
to
out.
themselves over the course of the years.
They're
You know,
not. I don't believe they're truly going away. They're just going to get
No.
somebody else is going to buy it, rebrand it, and it'll come back.
It'll be restructured, and yeah, somebody else will buy it. I mean, but you know, it is funny because in the 80s there were multiple, you know, comic book shippers, right? There were multiple companies that distributed comics. Diamond bought them all. They gobbled them up.
Yeah,
And
that's how it works.
for a couple of decades, Diamond was the only fucking game in town. And they kind of had a monopoly. And then when they decided that they weren't going to ship books out that they had already been paid for and that were already in their warehouses and basically bottlenecked the entire industry when everything shut down, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh,
People
it's
were
not only
like, you
that,
know
but
what? You're charging us a lot of money for this, and you're not fulfilling on your end of the bargain. And all right, we're gonna look for somewhere else. And boom, you know, I think that was the beginning of the end for Diamond, because right after that, DC jumped ship
yep, they pulled
and
out.
started getting distributed through Luna. And you know, they were coming out on the books were coming out on a Tuesday, and I remember Marvel being snarky as fuck, releasing covers that said "proudly sold on a Wednesday" or "proudly released on a Wednesday," and they were
They've done a
literally
couple weird
single
things.
color covers that just had that text on it. They weren't, you know, they didn't have any other kind of art
Is it?
on it.
I'll say was it Marvel that started distributing through Penguin Random House, or was it
Uh
Image?
huh.
One of them
That was
started
the
doing
next
that.
year.
Marvel.
Yep.
'Cause they
Yep.
went to them instead. And Penguin Random House is, I think, the biggest publisher on the earth. Period.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably a pretty safe bet for Marvel to invest in that one. Sure.
Sure.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of Disney saying, "Hey, we're not playing this game anymore. We're going to do this, and we're gonna get these books out there." And you know, that's that. And then Image jumped ship. Image was the biggest publisher that Diamond had, and Image jumped ship and did their own thing. I think they may have gone with Luna or something
yeah, I
like
believe they
that.
did. It's you have to keep your
Yep.
customers
So I
happy.
mean, now they got Dark Horse, and so all of a sudden these little independent creators mean a lot more. And you know, I remember the Diamond book used to be like that thick, and then it
It was
started
huge.
shrinking over the years, and
You could
now
beat a man to
it's just
death with that
tiny.
book 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. They took up a lot of fucking
That
space, and you know, it was always fun to pour through the magazine, you know, smell the newsprint, and like look at the stuff that was coming out, and yeah, just over the
it,
years, it just lost
the
its
people who
luster.
are going to hurt the most from Diamond's problems are going to be the indie guys who you rely on them to get to shops. That's who's going to really hurt from this. And
Unfortunately, yes,
I feel
that
bad for those
is.
guys, especially as I would say right now we are across all forms of entertainment, video games, movies, videos,
Yeah.
comics. We are definitely entering the age of the indie, where that's
Oh,
becoming
100%,
way
man.
more popular. Uh,
Absolutely.
there's a reason you see so many Marvel and DC guys showing up on Kickstarter now because they're tired of doing Marvel and DC. Like, oh, I'm just gonna do my own thing and take all the money for myself. Like,
Look at the
or
dudes that are doing Ghost Machine, you know? Like all those, I mean, that's top tier talent. All just walking away from Marvel and DC.
well,
I mean, look at
Lady Death.
Mark
Brian's
Miller.
doing his own crowdfunding platform now.
Who is?
Toledo's not on Kickstarter. He's leaving Kickstarter. He's doing his own platform.
I
They
was
announced they're
wondering how
doing.
long that was going to take.
They
I mean,
announced they're
he's
going to do their own crowdfunding. I think it's more of a pre-order system than a true crowdfunding platform.
right.
I don't believe it's opened up to anybody else. I think I could be wrong. Please forgive me if I am. I think it's just Coffin that's allowed that's using it. It's not
Sure.
like they're making like a new Kickstarter, like Coffin Kickstarter, where they can come on there and do it.
Right.
I
But
think
they're
it's
going to
just
be crowdfunding their books on their own website.
yes.
Yeah.
In defense of that, they absolutely have the following to get away with that. I couldn't
100%.
survive doing that. But
I mean, keep working that grind, man. You might find
one
yourself
day,
there sooner
one
than
day.
you think.
one day, just
Hey,
not
I'm just
yet.
saying,
That's
man.
okay.
You've been consistent, and this is one of the things I was talking about as I was going through the campaign. Is like,
Oh, you
you've
use that
done
time to just talk
13 of
massive
these.
trash about me, man? What's wrong with you? I would have done it. Why didn't you do it?
Man, right? No, I was actually talking about how much fun we have having conversations. I was talking
you're a great
about
guy, man.
trying to tell people about Cremisi and the different things that you guys do at Astral Ticket. And one of
More
the things
than
I
I
brought
can
up was
count.
13 of these, 13 campaigns, and all fulfilled. And obviously
never
with John
failed our
Doe,
promise.
very happy backers.
That we have a thing now, and it's on any of our campaigns. We have a blurb on there. I write into it now saying, "Hey, if you are unsure about us, because half of Kickstarter or crowdfunding is proving to the backer that you are going to keep your word. You're going to do what you say you're going to do."
Yes.
Because I think it's like 42% of campaigns never get funded, and among those is like 38% that never deliver on their promises.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a concerningly high number, not like crazy high, but enough to be concerning. Especially if you're someone who's taking your hard-earned money and just gambling it on getting a comic book or a card game or what have you.
Yep.
We always say like, hey, here's a link to our profile. Go through all of our campaigns and read here's a link directly to the comments on from our campaigns. Go read those.
Yeah.
We can't delete. I don't think we even can delete the comments if we wanted to. Go through there and just see what people say. You're gonna see nothing people saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got the book, I love it, and everything's great." Like, yeah, that's the point. Word of
Yeah.
mouth is, especially for a small business, word of mouth is a very powerful tool to have.
It's the most powerful form of marketing. You do a
We
good
can't be
job.
like-
You do a good job, provide a good product, and people will tell their friends. Yeah. Feline says, I'm still waiting on some stuff that I backed. Yeah.
From us?
No, not from
Oh,
you.
hey.
No.
From
No,
what? Because
from
everything I have has been fulfilled already. What happened? Just let me
100. Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, this is other campaigns that were on Indiegogo, and they are very late, and there are questions of whether or not they will actually show up at all. And I've had a few of those.
Yeah.
Granted, it's been very few and far between. I'm usually pretty good about picking my campaigns. But yeah,
Feline,
I've been
that
told I
sucks.
won't get stuff now. Stuff that she
Terrible.
paid for,
I'm sorry.
and
I'll
I'm
tell
in
you
the
what.
same boat.
You ever back us, you won't have that problem.
Exactly. Feline says, I'm so glad you didn't buy your LCS. Yeah, I had the opportunity to buy the LCS, my childhood LCS that I was working in. And
Who'd you work with?
I worked at All Books and Comics in St. Augustine.
okay.
I worked for Vanessa. And I absolutely adored working there. I loved working for Vanessa. Vanessa was fantastic. I loved being there. I enjoyed talking with my customers. That was probably my favorite part of being at the comic shop. Talking to my customers, finding out what they like to read, and finding things to recommend to them. And going back to looking through the Diamond book, I would go to the back of I would start at the back of the Diamond book, and then I would work my way forward. I would go to the little 2x2 inch ads in the back to try to find new stuff to check out. Just because I know the people in the back of the book were taking a gamble. They paid their money and they were rolling the dice to see if they could get people to order their book, from Diamond to give their book a shot. So yeah, I totally
Absolutely.
I totally feel for the guys that that was their only avenue. But that's
Luckily,
the thing.
the internet
It's not
exists
their only
now, and it's a
avenue
lot
anymore.
easier.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting as time goes on to see how the standard distribution methods are going to slowly chip away.
Yeah.
If anything, what this potentially could do, and it will take time, it may not even be within our lifetimes. Eventually, what's going to happen is they are going to lose more and more business to indies, and then they're going to start rolling the dice on hiring indie people to create things. I think I have not watched Arcane, but I understand it's very popular. And the
that's what
writers
I hear
who
as
wrote
well.
it were basically nobodies. Like they just
Mhm.
came out, like they did not have a long Hollywood listing. They were not related to an executive. They were just like, hey, you guys can do it. Cool. See what you can do.
Right. Hey,
We've
I
seen
mean,
things
and
like
that's what we're talking about. This is the rise of the indies, independent creators, people that
absolutely.
are able to do stuff. It's like if you can do the work, you get the work, right? That's the way it should be,
It's
you
law.
know.
Listening to your audience is a big one. Whenever I have to talk about, I have to do talks about like how do you do a Kickstarter and how do you make it successful. A big one is like, do you know
Right.
who your audience is? Because it takes a long time to zero in on the audience.
Hmm.
One reason why I think Mr. Polito is so successful is because he knows his audience are metalheads who like sexy girls in metal outfits,
That's
and he
right.
physically embodies it himself. I've never seen him not in a battle vest with like spiked gear on. I'm like, this guy lives
Yep.
this. He's not
That's
selling you a
because
shtick.
that's
This
who
is
he
who he
is.
is.
Yep. 100%.
Exactly. Like, you know what?
Yep.
If I go to a like
I relate.
if I go to a convention, I'm looking at indie comics, and I'm like, this guy has Superman tattoos and Catwoman and the Avengers on one arm. Like, this is the guy I want to buy a comic from because this guy
Right.
is not just making a fad. This guy is living this. He
Yeah.
actually cares. I want to see
It
what he's
means
got.
something to him. 100%, man.
I'm gonna play an indie game and I see the developer and he's got like a Mario tattoo. I'm like, this guy actually likes video games. Cool. He's not a corporate suit just trying to make some cash off a video game. He actually likes what he's doing.
Yep. The passion for making this. I just want to address this comment. Apex, I'm sorry, buddy. You're never going to get Detective Dead. Just like I'm never going to get Sovereign. But, it's okay. We'll survive. Metalhead girls in sexy outfits, calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I'm wearing my Lady Death shirt. Between Lady Death and Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose by Jim Ballant. There's some good sexy lady content out there.
I just started reading some of Stefan Sajak's work, and yeah, that's
Oh,
definitely
he's wonderful. He's got some good.
Sunstone.
And his artwork is just so beautiful. Like his digital paintings are just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's really good.
Yeah.
For manga, I've been reading has been Interspecies Reviewers, which I know is a very, very, very risque series, but it is one of the most comical things I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if have you ever seen or heard of that series?
Nope, can't say I
Um,
have.
it's oh god, it's a high fantasy universe. So
Mm-hmm.
orcs and fairies and elves, they all exist. And the main characters are like legendary hero ability, but what they actually do is they like to go to brothels that have certain species of girls, and then they write reviews based on their experiences for people to read.
Oh
Hence,
wow.
interspecies reviewers. The level of humor in there is, I mean, it's probably kind of childish, but it's still fun. One of the places they go to is for giants, so it's girls that are actually giants. And
Mm-hmm.
the sign outside, instead of attack on Titan, the sign outside says ejac on Titan.
Oh my goodness.
I'm mad I didn't think of that first. That's genius. That's so cheesy and great. I love it. This is perfect.
That is definitely a play on words. It's very very punny.
Stuff
Uh,
like that. It's I think that
Probably
I talked
not
a little bit
Apex.
before about the war between manga or anime versus comics now. I
Mm-hmm.
think part of it is that manga and anime remember that it's supposed to be fun. I
Yes.
I want to have fun when I read this. I don't want to finish reading a copy of Superman and feel like the world is screwed and I'm gonna die a horrible lonely death. I don't want to feel that way after reading a comic book.
It's supposed to be. It's called escapist literature for a reason.
It's
Escapist fantasy.
it's
Books,
something I've
video
talked
games,
about is
comics. Movies. They're supposed to be escapism. You're supposed to
idea.
enjoy the stories, to go on an adventure.
That's
Something
why I don't write
outside of your
nonfiction.
real life. Yeah.
That's why I don't do nonfiction. Everything I do is solely fictional. It's a different
Yeah.
universe.
Exactly. It's more fun that way.
I don't like reality. Reality sucks. I don't enjoy it. I'd
I
rather
mean,
live in
there
a
are
universe with like space, you know, go into space like that or go into the
right,
world. Even Succubus takes place here in Jacksonville. It's still an alternate reality because we don't
right.
have gates to hell and heaven just sitting around the corner you can just go to. That
Exactly.
would really
It's probably a
that
good
would
thing.
it'd be an interest. It's so to talk about interspecies reviewers. One of the main characters is an angel who broke his halo, so he's stuck down here on Earth for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this big festival. Everybody's praying to the gods, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? We're praying." And he goes, "The gods don't listen to you guys." I'm like, don't say that too loud. You'll start a riot.
No, Jesus.
We can't have an angel telling everybody the gods don't actually listen to us. That will go badly. Like, yeah,
People need to hold on to that hope. Shh.
Well, if
Feline
you
says,
find
but
out
what
that
is reality? What we make of it.
situations play a role for sure, but I think that it's definitely kind of like walking through it's like being a piece of steel going through a blacksmith shop. Like, what are you gonna be molded into by the experiences?
Being
Some of us came
forged.
out Some of us came out angrier, sharper, and some of us came out as clumps of just shaping metal, and that's unfortunately what reality does to us. It's a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Not to sound
Right.
too depressing, but what isn't
I mean,
depressing is
it's true, but we choose how we react to it, and we can, I believe that we can forge our own reality. The reality may be trying to forge us, but I do believe we can flip the script and forge our own reality. I mean, look
I like
look
that
what you're doing
mentality.
with Astral Ticket, man. You're forging your own reality by creating a company, telling stories that you want to tell,
I try not to
and
think about it because I'm aware. I'm terrified that if I let it sink in with what I'm actually doing, the universe is going to take it away.
ah,
Luke, while we have you, Luke, do you want to look at the new campaign coming out next week? I have the preview
absolutely,
link
man.
for
If
you
you
if you'd
want to
like
bring
to
it
go.
up, we can take a
I
look
would love
through.
to because that's the real deal coming out. Send to the private
And
chat.
let's see, do we have a? Oh, you did. You dropped the link in the
Yes, sir.
private chat, so I will go
Yep,
ahead
and that should have everything. If it doesn't work, let me know. That should let me double check it here. I think it works. Sometimes these
and
links
we'll
don't want
go
to work.
ahead
Oh yeah, that's
and
that's the right one. That is the entirety of the new campaign. It's outside of the video and things that will be added later. We add stuff as time goes on. Sometimes we take some feedback and add things based on that.
okay. So this is not live yet. So you guys are getting an exclusive. We're gonna share this, right? It's okay to share this on
Please
the
do.
stream.
It
Okay.
it's actually public, so go right ahead. It goes
Okay.
live the
Awesome.
21st. So we have
All right.
oh god,
So
shorter
we're
than I
gonna
think.
switch to this. This is Pure Intent number 3 and Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons.
This is
Mistress
covered, so
Azumi
it
will
should be safe. But
teach you.
Mr. Suzumi's back cover. I can't show the front cover because trust me, that Luke will get in trouble if I do.
I
Everything's
was
covered on
actually
that
telling
one.
the
So
story about how the suck you busted moving GIF of the booty got me struck on Twitch
I'm
the
so
last
sorry. I
time.
didn't know. I didn't. When I talk to Kickstarter, I will sometimes ask them to relook at my campaigns, make sure I'm not in
Hmm.
trouble. And for whatever reason, they have told me they don't. Butts fine. They don't care about bare butts. That's like, I guess
Right.
bare butts are seen as almost like comedic aspect. I mean,
Hmm.
come on. One of the most famous advertisements of all time was a dog pulling down the little girl's shorts and showing off her butt. Like,
Oh yeah, the copper tone thing.
yeah, like everybody knows. Like nobody seems to care about butt too much. I will tell you what you're going to see on this page right now is pre full censors because I was told today by the colleagues at BackerKit that there's 2 covers that I need to increase the censorship on. So I haven't
Oh
done that
my.
yet. So
All
we're
right.
just
Well, you
trying to
guys are
avoid
getting
getting in
an
trouble.
exclusive preview here, and this is going to be going live this coming Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Tuesday, probably
Okay.
about I think 8 o'clock is the launch time, or is it 7? I forget. I have to look them up. So I always feel bad when someone's like, "Hey, what's the plan for this Kickstarter?" I don't know. We do this. I don't know. When's this? I don't know. Why don't you know this? Because when I go to a Kickstarter, I create a series of documents that essentially are the plan. And when the
Hmm.
campaign goes to launch, I don't know what's going to happen. I just open the plan and it tells me on what day to do certain things, when to say certain things, and what to say and how to say it because I thought about it beforehand. But off
Right.
the top of my head, I have no idea. That cover I will point out is by Sukesha Ray, and she does work now with DC. So she's one of DC's girls we got working with us.
Wow.
And if you want to look
It's
her
a
up on
very cool
Instagram, I
cover.
feel like if you're a guy, you'll probably, if you're a straight dude, you're very much going to like her. She's a very pretty young lady. And she's very
I
aware
mean,
of
it's
it too.
beautiful
Her
artwork.
videos, she knows.
Love the
Yeah,
love the
so
colors.
this one is a little different than the previous iterations of Pure Intent. This
Uh-huh.
takes place about 15 years after the end of issue 2.
Oh,
So
okay.
Pure Intent, we call it a 16 plus series, kind of like the same vein what you get with Demon Slayer for those who like anime.
Right.
Because in the first 2 issues, our main cast are 14 years old. So we're not getting anything super lewd happening because these are actual children.
Right. Well, I
We
mean,
don't do
that
that
makes
here.
sense.
But now 15 years have passed. We can do things a little bit different now they're adults. Tamaki right there, when we last saw her, she was 14. Now she's in her mid to late 20s. So
Okay.
she is on. There is a
Safe
variant of
zone
that
now.
cover.
Yeah.
So she's on some
Feline
covers,
loves
but she
that
has.
image, by the way. She likes
Thank you.
mermaids, so
It.
she loves that.
I was very happy how it turned out because it's pretty, and the topless version is sexy, but it's sexy in like a classical Renaissance era painting kind of way.
Right.
We're like, this is sexy, but it's very classy.
Right.
It's the kind of thing that I guess if you go to you know, enjoy yourself too, you have your pinky up the entire time. It's that kind of image. That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. That was horrible. I'm a bad person.
It's all right. The
I
depth.
always do those
yeah.
graphics. If you like certain things, then you're gonna like this. If you like Naruto, Iron Blooded Orphans, Yu Yu Hakusho, you're gonna love Pure Intent. Just plain and simple. It's another.
I think it's a good idea to do little graphics like that, give people an idea of what they can expect. You know, just because people are naturally going to compare things, but if you know they can get an idea, oh, this is similar to this, this, and this, that will, you know, that can give them an idea. Well, hey, yeah, I want to check this out. I want to back this. You know,
What I've tried to explain to some people is when you're an independent. Because let's say we go to conventions together. You and I've been to cinema shows. If somebody is selling fan art of Superman, I can sit here with this shirt on, and you know this is Superman because DC and Warner Brothers have spent millions, if not billions, ensuring you know what this means.
exactly.
Independents, we don't have the legacy, we don't have the budget. So we one thing I like to try to approach it from is familiarity. Okay, you guys know you like these kinds of things. This is in the same vein. Give it a try. You're going to like it. And that's the best way I can think of to try to do that.
I agree. I think it's a good idea. You know, give people something similar, and they'll be able to figure out whether or not they want to take a chance on it. You know, like we were saying, you know, taking a chance on a new project, a new IP, is sometimes daunting and risky for the backer because
Very.
you know that's their money that they're plunking down. You know?
Am I going to drop $200 on somebody's first ever campaign who has no record of doing anything? I don't know if I want to do that. That's a lot of money. But if I go to like, you know, Mr. Polito, for example, well, I dropped $200. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get even more on top of that because he punches in a ton of freebies with it. So
yeah, I love all the tchotchkes, man. It's great.
Oh, I've got somewhere around here. One of the poker chips I got from one of Mr. Kincaid's campaigns. I was using as inspiration for our some poker chips we're going to be doing. Preview pages. They're drawn by Neela Fox. She is one of our internal artists. She is fantastic out of Indonesia. They are colored by Gentle Nelly, who is out of Lisbon, Portugal. We work people all over the world. Lately, I've been working with a lot of people from South America.
I love the colors, man. It almost has like an old school like 80s like
that was the
traditional
goal
coloring vibe.
We wanted to go. That's where I said the Yu Yu Hakusho thing. Like I wanted a coloring style that was kind of reminiscent of the classic shonen era of anime. When we back, you know, like I said, early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
But before we got all the, you know, the fancy 3D coloring on everything we have now, which looks good. Don't get me wrong, but part of me, it's like, you know, I like the classics. Give me that hand drawn Cowboy Bebop with the old school coloring on it over anything else today, please. That being said, that style is massively more time consuming and therefore infinitely more expensive.
Right.
For you know, big companies like Sunrise Studios or whoever.
And Feline has the link for the Cremisi digital collection in there, and also the link to Isaac's website, foxycomics.com. And here is the link for the Kickstarter project we are currently looking at. So if you want to get in on
available
this,
for pre-launch.
Yep. So in pre-launch. So if you want to get in on this, go hit that link. You know, make sure you ding the notification thing so that once he launches this, you are notified so you can jump in.
We are going to do. I don't have it on there yet. I'm still working on a few last minute touches. There will be a raffle.
Oh,
the first 50 backers to get a couple of exclusive things from previous campaigns that will include up to metal covers, holographic covers, metal trading cards. Do I have one over here that's not nude? Yes. Metal trading cards, stuff like that will be added to the my stupid filter doesn't blur it too much. I'm so sorry it's doing that. There we go. That's best I can get it.
Oh,
things like
Velma.
that. So it was from Foxy Vacations 24, which is our cosplay book, which this campaign also will be the last time that we're doing cosplay stuff.
Oh, okay.
For characters that don't belong to us.
Right.
Some people do really well with them. Our audience doesn't seem to like them as much. So we're going to pull back from that and focus on more proprietary kind of outfits and themes, a little more dynamic.
Hey, listen to your audience, man. Your audience will tell you what they want.
Look at the numbers. We vote with our wallets. We do. It doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly,
It doesn't matter if you-
100%.
doesn't matter if you buy them from me or Marvel or Disney. You vote with your wallet. You can go on. I heard it argued one time from a VTuber, and I really like the argument that, like, you can sit there and say I hate this series so much and type whatever you want, but that your mouth don't make as much noise as your wallet does.
That is correct.
The two covers above that, those were Yu Hakusho covers, actually. the Dark Tournament announcers, we had them in their outfits done by Lemon Bun.
Okay. Yeah.
If you've ever seen Kill la Kill, the next one's very obvious. It's our company mascot, Brooke Astral.
Right.
And that's the one on the right's the one they told me to increase the censorship on, so I got to do that tonight. That's going to get a lot.
This one
more.
right here.
Yeah, they wanted me to censor that one a lot more heavily, so I said, okay, to be safe, to not get in trouble. So, okay, we'll go ahead.
Better to mitigate any problems ahead of time than have to deal with them afterwards. So
that's people. I don't blame anybody for this, but no one sees how much work actually goes into doing these things. It's like this is when a campaign launches. The last campaign we did. For 30 days straight. My day started at noon, which I know sounds late, but I don't go to bed till way later.
Right.
And I would finish working about 7 a.m.
Yeah.
That's not me getting up. That's not me going out. That's me getting a can of beans for lunch and then sitting back down and going back to work while I'm eating. Just nonstop. You have more Kill la Kill ones. We did a few of that. We had planned something different for those, but we ended up like, well, it didn't work out. So we're gonna use them for this instead.
Right.
So I'm still happy with how they look, though. Generally speaking, characters from the Cremisi universe, which Pure Intent is part of, are not allowed to do what we call Ultra Foxy, which means the downstairs is visible.
Right.
They have special protections per the artist who originally helped me create Cremisi. I promised I would do that for those characters. Li Hua is a exception on this campaign, and you'll see why. Because she is a virtual intelligence computer, but she's a pleasure model, so she doesn't mind. The other one right there on the right, that's the other one I have to censor more too. They told me to do that.
I mean,
in my defense, that cover, she's wearing cosplay tape downstairs. So you don't actually see anything. But it still implies you do. So okay, we'll make it a little bit better. And when you get to the description of the tier, it says, hey, there's tape down there, so you don't think you're getting a cat in your face.
Right.
Trying to find a way to word that poetically.
Nicely done. That was good. Yeah,
Naruto cosplays there with
skirting
her.
around all the different censors, YouTube, and we're actually only streaming to YouTube tonight. I didn't bother with Facebook, didn't bother with Twitch.
Also, everybody says unalive now instead of the other words on their YouTube videos.
Oh yeah,
to be monetized.
I mean, I'm not monetized anyway, so it that doesn't really faze me whatsoever. Kitty, that's right.
We have the last
other
two on there. Those are Hinata's outfit from Naruto, so we did some of that. Some of them do, some of them don't. Well, in Li Hua's case, at least, because she is a pleasure model, the virtual intelligence computer, she's used to not having anything on. She's a computer program, so you can't feel bad about it.
Right. I mean,
so she's a fake character within a fake character. Fake character Inception.
I actually just saw Inception for the first time.
It's a cool movie. It's a little weird, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Feline and I watched it together. It was a lot of fun. Makes you question reality, and again, going back to the whole reality is what you make of it. And defying clothes, says Feline. Cloth draped about one's person. Love it. Yeah.
Any material which covers one's naked form.
That's right.
Could be a cardboard box. Back in remember seeing the old cartoons where a guy be wearing a barrel for some reason?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Those two right there are special. So we experimented with some of these and people really liked it. We have a set of covers this time called the date covers. And it's mystery date. So if you buy if you pick up that tier, you're going to get one of those two covers. Are you going to go on for which date are you going on? You're either going to go on a cute date with Tamaki and Li Hua on the left, or you're going on a hardcore BDSM date with our new girl, Camellia the Assassin. Which one are you going to go on? It's totally random. You also get a one of the we call them Foxy again instead of Naughty to not get hit with anything. You're also going to get a random Foxy one with that purchase. Getting it twice means you get both covers, and the random Foxy will not be a duplicate, so you're guaranteed to get something unique.
That's awesome.
I'm really happy with how those covers turned out. The artist who did the one on the left there, Mr. Nox Kuro, is a huge fan of very buxom ladies. So
he
enhanced them a little bit.
Yep.
He certainly
Good
enhanced
word.
them a bit, which is fine. Like, well,
Mhm.
variant covers are not canon; they're not canonical. So
Right.
we allow artists to take liberties with that, as long as they fall in line with what the characters, as long as they fall in line with the essence of the character. For instance, I wouldn't
Voluptuous.
have.
There's a word that I'm really fond of. Voluptuous.
That is a good word. It really, really
Mm.
is.
Yeah. I
Voluptuous,
am a fan of
lascivious.
buxom, voluptuous ladies as well.
I mean, I think everybody is to an extent. Even some
I
of the
think
gay
so.
guys
I
I
mean,
know think those
I
look
enjoy
good.
drawing them too. I mean, obviously. So.
That cosplay is probably painfully obvious. That's the one that I was afraid would get me in trouble at first because it's Nintendo, and when he first did
Uh,
it, it's Li Hua on the right, the Chinese girl from above. When he first did it, he made her hair white. And I was like, okay, that will get Nintendo mad. Let's go ahead and just change your hair back, please. I don't feel like getting Nintendo's lawyers are infamously aggressive. Let's go ahead and just not play with that.
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Well, I mean, Link isn't a fish girl, and the other girls that girl, Purah doesn't have black hair, so I mean,
Yeah. I
kinda
think
like
I think you're probably safe. Yeah,
I'm probably too
maybe.
small for them to care about.
Well, I mean, maybe they went after emulators that weren't making any money either.
Well,
So
this is true. Well, that's because Nintendo sells the emulations themselves.
that's right.
They
So
don't
as long as they
sell.
don't move into the territory of selling, comic books with scantily clad ladies on it,
There are Nintendo comics. There are Legend of Zelda comics,
oh yeah,
but not like this. Not
no,
like that.
yeah,
They're usually much more family friendly books,
mm-hmm, yeah,
considering it's Nintendo. I mean, come on, that's their whole thing,
that's kind of their brand, yeah,
essentially. This one's weird. This campaign is different because it's not just one book we're running for. It's two. So, and yes, I will point that out. I know some guys saw some comments, people saying they were waiting on things from Kickstarters. Uh, Anything Astral Ticket does on Kickstarter, back here, it doesn't matter. It's already done. All I'm waiting for
awesome,
is to hit the send button to the print shop. I can't do that until I know what numbers I need to print. But everything is finished. The books are already done. The lettering's done. The coloring's done. They have been proofread. Everything is ready to go.
yeah,
Doesn't matter if it's a
rock and
stretch goal
roll,
item. I
baby.
don't care if it's the poker chip. It's all been designed. It's all waiting to hit the OK button to the supplier.
Heck yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
I
That's the way to
don't
do it.
like the idea of for some things I understand. Like if you're making a piece of tech, which I know tech, I think tech Kickstarter is the biggest section of Kickstarter in terms of like what
Oh, I'm still waiting on a tech Indiegogo that I backed,
they
fucking 4 years ago that I know
you
I'm
need the
never gonna
money to
get.
make it. Comic books, don't get me wrong, comics aren't cheap to make, but they're not crazy expensive either. So
Right.
it's feasible that someone's been doing it for a while should have the book ready beforehand. Your first book ever, I could see you need a little help, but
Sure.
we've been doing this for 10 years. That's the
Yep.
other book that comes with it, Mistress Azumi's Adult Lessons. This is her third lesson so far, co-written by Azumi, the Fox girl right there. She is the co-writer of that series. Uh,
Nice.
the idea is to teach adults things they should know how to do, but it's taught by a
Good
lascivious
idea.
Fox girl and her extremely naughty friends. That is the
Yep.
lewdest series we have. As you can tell, you can probably take a guess from the cover what this one's about. We're referring to it as her wettest lesson yet.
Oh my.
Yeah. The preview panels. Notice the preview panels, not preview
Da-da-da-da-da.
pages.
Yeah.
They are not preview pages because I can't show the full pages here. I don't believe I can get away with that. So you're getting
So if you
panels
want to
of it.
see the full pages, you might have to go join their Discord.
We do show off some of the uncensored stuff in the Discord. Yes, absolutely. But full books, we can't do that for obvious reasons.
Well,
But
yeah, you got to make money on the books.
that's kind of why when we post anything to like Facebook, I always get a message. Hey, can I see the full image? Here's a link. Oh yeah, you want to play? You got to pay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it works.
This is how our artists eat. This is how I eat and pay my mortgage. So
Right?
yeah, we have to do that. But the benefit is you're not buying some CEO somewhere, another yacht or golden toilet. You're actually putting food on our tables and you're feeding the
Mm-hmm.
cats. Feed the
Right?
kitties.
Hey, the kitties got to eat too. Gotta feed the kitties.
I can
That's
tell you they are
important.
ravenous.
Yes, that is accurate. Feline says Luke might have a lovely book in the works. Yes, indeed. What's
Excited for
up,
it.
Shelby? My homie. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming to hang out. Hail. It's my buddy Shelby
I was working
Robertson.
again.
But yeah,
You want to keep going to my
if you want to
guest? You
see
can take a look
these
at everything on there.
images, you want to see them all. I mean, you know, help.
We do tend to take the graphics from the Kickstarter and post them in our Discord without the censors on them. So I always kind of fear that someone's going to buy a cover, like, oh, it's censored, and it's not what they were expecting in terms of
Right.
content. And I don't want you to have that experience. I would feel bad about that. I'm not trying to lie to you or deceive you. I have to censor this because Kickstarter is an all ages website. So we can't have 10-year-olds hopping on here and looking at kitties and melons. We just can't do that. But we can show that in our Discord. Our Discord does ask you to verify your age, so we can make sure that
you've got an age
reasonable
verification
level.
thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
So
just kind of like back when you go to an adult website. Are you 18? Yes. Was I 18 when I was on those things? No. Of course not. Of course I wasn't.
Yeah. But I mean, at
easy.
least there was an attempt. You know.
I've done my legal part by saying you have to be. It's like
Exactly.
like Ancient City Con, and everybody goes open that one pink binder. Go, are you 18? They say
Nope,
no. I
nope,
go,
nope.
I'm sorry. I felt bad because I had some girls who go, you have naked girl art? Can we see it? Are you 18? No. And there were girls who I'm like, I don't know how that rule works. It's the
But
same,
no.
like, sex, but the answer is no because I don't want to get in trouble.
By
law, I have to
better
say no.
safe than sorry.
Always better safe than sorry. And as my lawyer once told me, say nothing you don't want repeated in court.
Right.
This is special, this campaign, a little bit, because Mr. Suzumi, historically, I did not have permission to release the copies of it in digital format.
Oh.
I now do. So this is the
Rock and
first
roll.
time lessons 1 and 2 are available digitally. So that's the A cover for lesson number 3. Below that is now you can get lessons 1, 2, and 3 in a full digital collection of that cover on the left right there. It features our good friend Lily or Zura Stella, who is a VTuber, another Fox girl that Izumi enjoys harassing.
Nice.
And the one on the right there, I think I did upload it last night. There's a special one you'll see in a few minutes that one's part of. Cover B will come later. It's not, later add. I love this graphic, and I will always love this to my dying breath. No AI.
No
Astral Ticket
AI.
Comics
That's right.
does not use AI for literally anything in comic production. The books are written by me. That's why the writing is great. That's not true. And it's edited by real people. No chat GPT goes through it. I have 2 editors, one for grammar, one for characterization. All of the art is done by real people who have dedicated their entire lives to being artists and what they do. So you are not getting fake crap. You are getting absolute human-made with passion and soul comic books. You're not getting this sped out AI-generated stolen BS from us. We are strictly against that. We have some graphics that people out. If you have questions you want to ask us, we always get a couple questions like, hey, well, if I want to get this or I want to do that. If there's ever a bundle or particular kind of cover you wanted, you can always just message us. 99% of the time, I say, yeah, we'll do it. I'll make that tier. I'll make that tier for you right now. Give me a minute. It's up. Here you go. Occasionally, it's a thing I can't do because of contracts.
That's customer service right there.
Oh, if a campaign's running, man, I don't sleep. I am sitting here pretty much 24 hours a day. I will fall. I'll just go sleep on the couch, and my phone has a very loud alarm if I get an email saying, hey, get up, check this right now. Or Brooke, lady right there, who actually does handle our customer service on Kickstarter, will call me immediately. Like, hey, come look at this message. Okay. Yeah. Tell them we'll make the tier. I'm doing it right now. Were you asleep? Yep. I'm doing it. I'm already loading up Inkscape. I got this. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Or I'll make the tier and not make a graphic for it yet. Like, hey man, here's the tier. That's what's called in the list. Grab it. We'll make a graphic tomorrow when I have more time.
Feline's phone is dying. If she doesn't, if it just cops out, she says "Slancha all."
At least your power didn't go out.
No, the power's still on here. It's just her phone's dying. I hope you feel better, Shelby. I'm sorry that you're still dealing with the sickness, man.
Get well soon, man.
Yeah, he's been sick for a little while. He's fighting.
Something going around. A lot of people get sick right now. My partner's sick. I just got over something. Like everybody's getting sick. It's the weather, I think, fluctuating like it does this time of year. It just knocks everybody's immune systems out. We do some explanation graphics to have people out. If you keep going down there, I can show you some of the reward tiers if you'd like.
Absolutely.
There's one of them on there that's very special. Oh, yeah, Zumi explains how rewards work.
I mean, that's what she does. She explains things that
one of my mascots,
in a way that people understand, and she makes sure that people pay attention.
We want to make things easy for everybody. Like, I learned that from looking at Mr. Polito's campaigns, where he has like
Mhm.
videos walking you through how to do stuff. Like, I don't think videos are necessary, but we will absolutely explain things. This is
Yeah.
the super special one we've never done before. So because it's the
Ooh.
end of arc special for Pure Intent, or the end of the series special Pure Intent, that my first ever series has a finale. The first one. I've never had a finale before. Bittersweet,
Wha-
kind of. I'm like, oh, I love these
Wow.
characters though. And Pure Intent's a very, very personal story for me.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go into exactly, but Koru's story is very personal for me. What this one does is this tier will get you the silver foil Mr. Suzumi right there, which is the silver folding technique looks amazing. We're now doing what they call an acetate cover.
Ooh.
Meaning
Oh.
that the clothing is printed on a clear plastic sheet that goes over the main
Yep.
cover, and when you turn that clear plastic sheet, you now have the bear artwork in front of you.
You get the
So you
best
get
of
a
both
naughty
worlds.
and a nice, or
Yeah.
in our case, foxy and nice, all in one. And that's only going to be
That's
available for
pretty
the first
rad.
week.
That's
Those
awesome.
are
You said you're only going to be offering this for the first week?
Yes, we call it the a lot of people start doing early bird specials, but
Mhm.
because we try to stick on brand, we do the early fox special.
Yeah.
So in this
No, that
case,
makes
it's just for the
sense.
first week you get this. It's only 100 for these two exclusive items. They're never going to be ever offered ever again. And an acetate covers are really awesome. And silver foils, like I've got a silver foil Vampirella by Art Germ that looks just like I can just stare at it and
Yeah.
drool for hours. So like we
Right.
wanted to
Art
recreate that for
Germ
other people.
is dope. I like his stuff. Shelly
He's
says
very nice. He's a very kind
stacked.
person. I like him. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Well, Li Hua, and as far as the Cremisi universe goes, because Pure Intent takes place in the same universe, Li Hua is. I have her standing over here. I have one of them. She is the bustiest named female character in all of Cremisi. So nobody else has the chest. I do want to point out on a thing about that though. The characters you see that I have that are super busty, that's not me. I didn't tell them to do that. The artists are all women. They chose to do that. It wasn't me. I just said, hey, here's a character. Let's make them like this. And they go, oh, well, what if they had giganto boob? Your call. You're the artist. You tell me what you think might look good. Sure. I mean, even in her standee here, Li Hua is she's a pretty chesty, pretty developed. She's a computer program, but
Voluptuous.
if you're going to have
Buxom.
a pleasurable AI program to or VI program to have fun with, I presume you would want it to be exaggerated in some ways.
Sure.
Let's face it,
I
anime
mean,
as a whole is an exaggerated genre. So
that is accurate. That is accurate.
how many anime have you turned on like, oh, this is pretty normal? Then a character walks in and and clearly she will never drown. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Or
Uh-huh.
I
Well, you know, exaggeration.
always default back to like My Hero Academia has a character. I think her name's Cammy, who's in like a tight, like skin bodysuit with like a gigantic chest. And I'm
Mhm.
looking at her going, this character was literally made as character was made as fat bait. That's what she is. That's why she's here. But she's nice to look at, so I'm not complaining, and neither should anybody else. It's great.
Right.
And we also
Yeah.
get plenty. Considering I appreciate the anime is doing this, I'm glad that more things are doing it now, and we do this now. We've done this. We started finally being able to embrace this a lot more. We're
Right.
fan service for everybody, meaning that okay, if we can have a girl
Absolutely.
walk out who's really sexy, we can have a guy come out in oil with pretty cut up and looks good. We can do both. That's okay. Everybody
Sure.
gets a little bit of fan service. Why not?
Equal opportunity
Anime is
fan
starting to do
service.
that.
Why not? You know,
Everybody has a
everybody
preference.
likes looking at lovely looking humans. You know, it's kind of a thing. That's why comic books look the way they do. You know, we want the dudes to be Adonises, and we want these super heroic characters to look
The
like
Conan
Greek gods.
approach,
Yeah,
where every dude is just like a mass of meat and every chick's a lingerie model. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire Conan universe wound up right there.
boobs, kaiju boobies, exactly.
I have some colleagues who do in fact do that. Who do the kaiju boobies thing. That's definitely not uncommon, actually.
Right.
Be
And I mean,
amazed.
people like kaijus, I mean, Attack of the 50-foot woman. Come on. Like, she's literally kaiju size.
There are so many people I know in this industry who are furries, and it's a massive amount of them. And I don't mean it's a small number. It's like almost everybody I encounter.
Yeah.
Like, and the funny part is that artists have been like, well, you're into that, right? I'm like, no, but your name is Fox. Yeah, that's my name. It doesn't mean I'm
That's
furry.
literally my last name.
It's my name. Like,
Yeah.
I don't do it. Now, that being said, one of our new series will have at a point a furry race in it because we believe in accepting everybody here. We want everybody to have a good time and everybody to enjoy the book. So we'll kind of carry everybody as best we can.
Sure.
Right? I mean, in the same vein, Tamaki right there is a fish girl. That's borderlining it, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
But aliens.
furries, scalies, whatever.
Yeah. One of my very dear friends is a huge scaly, and I get his jokes all the time. I'm like, oh my God, you big gay dragon. I don't want to hear it. Again, one of my closest friends in the world.
Right. Yeah, Feline loves the mermaid girl, the fish girl.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy with Tamaki and her story, how it goes. I'm a little concerned that some people may not take to her characterization in this one because if they don't know trauma. So the way I know from experience, unfortunately, the way trauma works is a bad thing doesn't happen and you're just messed up after that. It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes that doesn't kick in till like 10 years later. And all of a sudden you just get hit with all these emotions and anger and depression and you don't know what happened. And your brain suddenly just defaulting to those moments of your life.
Right.
And that's what's happened to Tamaki in this issue. She was the friendly, soft one. But after enough time has passed, her brain has now realized what's actually happened to her. And that doesn't have a good effect on your brain.
No.
They call it a chemical imbalance, but it does a lot of things to you.
No.
Pure Intent's a darker story. I will openly state it's definitely a more serious, darker story.
You did mention that it's more of a personal story. It's more of a darker story.
It's a group of children who are forced to kill each other for sport, breaking free from that, and potentially being molested on the regular. We don't say it, but we do imply it.
Right, kind of like Battle Royale in that regard.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's. I mean, there's no way of getting around that being a serious story. That's just.
I guess you could Jojo Rabbit certain parts of it where it's funny, but
right.
I don't think I want to humorize the abuse of children.
Not at all.
I mean, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite skits is Chappelle's he kicks a baby, but I mean, it's so obviously a fake baby. I don't feel bad about it.
Right.
And that's the date. That's the date one right there. You get one.
That's the date one you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy how that turned out. One of those is going on my wall for absolute certainty. One of them may become a poster. We will run a poll during the campaign to see what cover everybody likes to be turned into a poster. We'll make it a poster.
I'm going to make a prediction in the poll. I think that this one is going to be the most popular one that they want as a poster. I'm just gonna say that right now.
That's a strong. Oh, you can't stand under there. She's pierced under there too. So,
well, there you go.
Like the goth metal girls. There you go.
I'm just saying. I think the audience is probably going to pick this one.
I feel like it's either that one or the one above it will be the pick. But I've been wrong before. I've been very surprised by what was popular before. I didn't.
Sometimes the audience surprises you.
The cover I showed you, where it is Rhoda, who's the incubus, who has his rooster out.
Right.
I thought we'll sell like 2 or 3 of those, right? No, it did way better than that. So we started talking to our backers, saying, "Hey, do you guys mind male nudity? Is that a turnoff?" And some people said, like, "Well, I wouldn't buy a cover that's just a naked guy, but if it's a naked guy and a girl on it, I have no problem with that." Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's because they don't have two people lounging around nude doesn't mean porn. You can just hang out naked with somebody. That's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We can get away with that.
Says green all day. Yeah.
That's my current Discord. My current picture in Discord right now is that cover.
The date cover. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she looks so cute. Like, she's cute and
adorable.
Cute, and let's face it, no kids are going hungry around her. But still,
that is true. It is accurate. Feed an entire village.
I cannot wait to talk to you about the next book when that's ready, because that's going to have some very fun things on it. And I have to come pointing out again that I have to come back through here and increase the censorship on some of the covers, because I was advised to do so by BackerKit, so that Stripe.
It's probably a good idea. Just again, better safe than sorry. You don't want to run into an issue later on down the line and you have to fix something and then something else breaks. And it's better to just get it done ahead of time and not have to worry about it. I
will say that I had a phone call with Stripe today, because I know a lot of back creators are concerned about what Stripe's been doing.
Right.
And according to what they told me today, I'm fine. I have nothing to worry about, which is nice. Because a website that sells Suck You Busted contacted me and said they had to take it down because Stripe told them to take Suck You Busted down. And all I can think, and when I talk to Stripe, what we think may have happened is that perhaps he marketed it as far more risque than it really is.
Right.
Like, it's an etchy comedy, but nobody is getting fused to the sofa in that series. I won't do that unless somebody offers me a big enough check. At that point, then we can go ahead and break that Pandora's box open. But until then, it's not happening.
Right.
That being said, the new series does kind of push the line, but we're going to be a little hush hush about that at first.
Right. Well, I mean, you gotta say keep something under wraps for the debut.
To be
Um,
safe.
yeah.
What Stripe told me about people getting busted is that they are not being honest in their descriptions to Stripe what the product is or what their
Mhm.
company is or makes. So they told me comic books that have nudity on it is fine. They don't care about that. But if somebody's getting penetrated, then that changes the rules entirely. And well, I can't.
Yeah.
My rule is no visible penetration. So maybe you see somebody's face during the act, but you're not going to see it go in.
The act itself.
If you don't like that, I'm sorry. But I have to make that decision in order to be allowed to be using Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or
Mhm.
BackKit. Anybody, because they all run through Stripe. Everybody does. But my comic uses Stripe too. So I have no choice. I have to play ball if I want to step onto the field. That's just the way it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. The people that allow you to process credit cards. I mean, it's how you have to do business. So you kind of have to follow the rules that they've put out.
It's
Yeah.
weird. The government came out with a bunch of new stuff recently, cracking down on small businesses for us to report a bunch more information that's just repetitive because they say that small businesses are funneling money to China and terrorists. Like,
That is the
sure,
dumbest
okay.
thing I've ever heard.
If China came over and offered me a couple million to do a comic, I'm going to say yes instantly, America. I'm sorry, but I'm not moving there, but I'll take the money because now I
Right?
can. Yeah, how many soup kitchens and things I could do for people if I had that kind of money? I can help a lot of people.
That's wow. That's
Do bad,
that's
do bad,
dumb.
be
That
good.
dumb. Yeah.
You'd be amazed, man. There's so much stuff that goes
Yeah.
through this that's just like, who actually is in charge of this? Is there a human involved? Was this just
No,
done by a
I think
dog?
I think it's an angry AI that hates all that's part of destroy all humans, honestly. But
Ah,
no.
I can relate to that AI, but not here.
But leave the small businesses alone.
Well,
Um,
I feel like, without getting too crazy into it, that the essence of comic books, the essence of creativity, and the essence of America is small business. That's what
100%.
we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be the mom and pop. Like, you go down the street, like, okay, sure, Starbucks cool, but if I can go to a mom and pop shop and get a coffee, it's I'm going to take that every day, unless they charge me 10 times the price, which would be a little
Right.
absurd at that point. Considering Starbucks is already expensive to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
see, I don't even really like Starbucks coffee. They
so
double
did
roast
I.
their beans
It's just
so it
sugar.
has less caffeine. And
It's just a
it's
ton of
basically just like a
sugar.
treat coffee, like
Yeah.
enjoy your diabetes.
If I want that, I'm just gonna go over here to Steak and Shake and for $4 get a shake. Like, just
That
gonna do that.
you might
I'm
as
not gonna
well because you're
tease
getting
my
the same
body with
amount of
diabetes. I'm
caffeine.
going in.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, you're getting the same amount of caffeine. It's they're just selling pure sugar, and most of it is corn syrup, so it's not even pure sugar. So
It's worse for you than pure sugar, actually.
yeah, it really is.
Well,
Um,
I had to learn the hard way that the corn syrup, it's because it doesn't have any fiber, so your body just absorbs the sugar altogether. Versus when you
ugh,
eat sugar in like a plum or an apple, your
right.
body has to break down the fiber, so you absorb the
Hmm.
sugar slowly. It's a fuel injected engine versus a carbureted engine. Or a carbureted,
Right.
just throwing the fuel in there and hope to God something happens. Fuel injected is just very well controlling the amount of fuel that goes into it. It's
Hmm.
the same kind of ideology.
I'll take natural sugars from fruit over processed crap any day of the
Give
week.
me a watermelon over almost anything else, man. I'm all
Yes,
about it.
love me
Give
some
me a good
watermelon.
watermelon.
Hmm. Absolutely. Well, we've been going for about 2 hours now,
I'm
man.
sorry, it's my fault.
I'm really glad that you're able to
My
jump back
power.
in, and we were able to talk about the Cremisi digital collection and this new campaign for Mr.
Less
Suzumi,
than a
and
week. I
yeah,
do want to say, if anybody in here is from the Cremisi campaign, we announced today would be here. Thank you so freaking much for backing that campaign, man. Like, I didn't think that would go anywhere. I thought we'd be like, okay, we might make like $300 in this campaign, and we're sitting at close to it finished up close to 5K, which is way more than I thought. So if I
that's
didn't say it
awesome.
earlier, I'll say it again. you back that campaign, I am actually getting with one of my artists. We are going to make an exclusive desktop wallpaper that features the cast of Cremisi that only you guys are getting. It's never going anywhere else. Even the Discord server is not going to get it. You had to back that campaign to get it. So I want you guys to get that as a sincere thank you for, holy crap, blowing my expectations out of the water. Thank you.
That is fantastic.
Literally
And
keeping me alive.
But I mean, and this is what happens when you treat your customers right and you treat your backers right, and have excellent customer service. This is a prime example, ladies and gents.
We try to.
Yeah. Apex says lovely campaign, and Feline
thank you,
says,
Apex.
yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have a staff, sure, but they're volunteers.
Right.
99% of everything outside of the artwork is done by me. It's just one guy. I do all the shipping. I do all the handling. I do all the pricing. So I may not respond to a message within 5 minutes, but it will get responded to within a day at the moment.
Indie comics, man.
Well,
DIY or die, right?
Something that I like about the Kickstarter community is as long as you are honest with them and keep them updated, they're very accepting.
Yeah.
I remember
100%.
when Pure Intent #1 came out, and I can't forget this for a lot of reasons. It was like 4 days after the campaign, my mom passed away.
Oh, wow.
So I got the phone call, went to my parents' house, and just dealt with that at first. Went outside and sat in the backyard, took my phone out, and just posted up saying, "Hey guys, the book's going to be delayed because this has happened. I need to deal with this right now. I am so sorry that it's going to take me longer to get you your books. This was not expected. I'm sorry." And I thought I'd get a couple guys who were like, "Well, whatever. I just want my books." Didn't get a single one of that. It was nothing but going, "Dude, take your time." A bunch of extremely warm responses to that. And since then, like that incident, I called it an incident because I lost my mother, but that was the time I was like, okay, you guys will always get my absolute best. I will skip meals. I will skip sleep. I don't care. Make sure you guys get the best I can possibly give you because clearly you deserve that. So that's what we're going to keep doing. And hopefully we'll do it all through 2025 with 3 books coming out this year. Well, 4 if you count this as a 2 book.
Right.
After this one comes a brand new series I've been working on for years of my life now, a World War I inspired high fantasy story called The Manticore. Core as Marine Corps, CORPS. That's one of my new favorite names ever given anything. And after that, Suck You Busted #4 comes out, the finale of the first story of Suck You Busted. #4 is subtitled Love, Lust, and Lesbians. So have fun with that one.
It's a great title.
I feel like that's going to be a popular one for some reason. I don't know why.
For some reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I think you might be right on that one. Well, Isaac, you're always welcome to come back and talk about your next book. It's always a blast talking with you, man. Thank you for coming to hang out.
Thank you.
Awesome. And chat, you guys are amazing, as always. Thank you for sticking with us this long. And remember,
Shop smart, shop S-smart.